People are moving to Florida, and in this video, I'm going to describe what's happening, and this is all a data-driven episode. So I'm going into the RedFin data center, which gives us all these statistics on the real estate when it comes to median price, how long it sits on the market. This information is really valuable if you're a seller, and is really valuable if you're thinking about buying or maybe even moving to Florida, because this data center is so precise and they do so much data research. I really appreciate Redfin for this thing that they provide to us. So let's get right into it, and we're gonna go over what exactly is happening in Florida and what has happened over the last 1, 3, and 5 years. Well, let's get right into this. This is the Redfin data center, and this is a little place that you can get a lot of data from, which is really, really good. This is the Florida housing market from Redfin here, and if you're thinking about selling your home, this is going to be really good information. Also, if you are thinking about selling your home, I do have a for sale by owner course that's coming out real soon, and if you want it, just go and sign up in the link below. I have a little sign up link. So, all right, let's go over this right here. What we're going to do is go over all the metrics that they're covering. And first of all, this is a Florida-wide. This is not for, Sarasota, my area. Median sales price in Florida is $402,900. Look at this. It actually went up 3% year over year. And then also the number of homes sold went up 4.5%, and the number of days on the market went up. So what this is kind of telling me is that with the days on the market going up and more homes selling, we actually have a lot more inventory than we did back then. And this is, I have it organized into the 1-year chart right now. What's basically happening and how this is going to affect you as a seller is that you're going to have more competition. It's going to take you longer to sit on the market, and your median price is right around here. Obviously you have to do the valuation of your home, but let's dig a little bit deeper. Okay, median sales price September, August, here it's all changing, and you can look down here, right? September is 402.9, then it was 404.5. Here in June it was 409, but in December it was 384. So this median sales price is really affected by all the sales, quite frankly. But let's look at the 3-year. And as you can tell, 3 years ago in September 2020, it was already a hot market then. It was 292. And now we're at 402. We're 30% more. But then let's look at the 5-year. In 2019, COVID hit right here. Right here, March 2020. That's when COVID hit. It was 270. But January 2019, it was 241. Like, we are, 50% higher? 50% higher than here, even 60% higher than January 2019. Now, I know that's 4 years. Actually, it'll be 5 years in just a few months. So that's a big difference. That's all. And does that mean it's not affordable here? No, it doesn't mean it's not affordable. It just means that homes cost $402,900, the median price. So top 10 metro areas with a growing sales price, so with an increasing. Take a look at this. Miami Beach, I'm actually surprised about this right here. West Palm is right there with Miami Beach. St. Pete is very close to where I live, and so is Marco Island. But Marco Island got hit with the Hurricane Ian pretty bad. Anyway, this is a cool stuff if you're actually looking at a particular area. You could also click here and start having all these stats for this particular Miami Beach area. Now, let's talk about the housing supply. This is how many homes are, for sale. So housing supply doesn't mean exactly, how many numbers, although this is how many homes are for sale. What's important is the months of supply, because what this does is it takes into account the sales and the homes. And if all the buyers right now that are shopping out there buy up all the homes and no more listings come on the market, how long would it take to sell everything? And we have 0 listings. And this is a good metric to look at. And the reason this is a good metric is because at 6 months, it's an equilibrium. The buyers and sellers are kind of, on equal terms, and the negotiations really are more drastic in that time. We've been going up significantly in this over and over and over. See, look, we had 1 month of supply. Eventually we came to 5 months, and now we're at it's saying 3. Sorry, there's the numbers right here. It's saying 3, but here it says 4. Anyway, so here we are with a total number of homes for sale, 143,865. And as you go back to the 1-year chart, obviously all the 1 years is going to be pretty stagnant, but let's look at this number right here. At the bottom here in December, we had 136. At the peak, we had 150. So we had a lot of increase in inventory here, and then it's kind of stable, 3 years looks like this. 2022, we had the least amount of homes for sale. This really was like the peak of the market, and then things started increasing, and it keeps on increasing. But the 5-year, look at this. This is what I want to point out, because I think this is really important. In January 2019, we had 186,825. Now we have 143,865 right here, 865. So we are still much lower, Now, when it comes to months of supply, in January, we had six, a little bit more, because it's right in the middle here, so it's like 6.5, even though here it says 6, and this was an equilibrium. So that's really interesting, because we are gliding up on this, and I predict that we're going to go up and we're going to shoot past the 6 point by the end of the first quarter. That's just my speculation. I don't predict the future, but if I was to, that's what I would say. All right, now, what about the demand, okay? How competitive is the market? All right, we're going into 1 year. And first thing is homes sold above list price. Believe it or not, almost 15% of homes sell above list price. That's amazing, right? But in this little downtime of December and January, here we are, we were at 11 and 12.3. Okay. Now, if you go into the 5-year, we had 43% of homes and 43.2 here sell above list price. That is just crazy. This is a good indicator that people are nuts, and it may not, you're going to have to go above list price because pretty much half of the homes sold for above. But now, what about homes with price drops? And, this is an indicator that the market's not doing too well, and we have too much inventory, or we have a lot of people in desperate situations, one or the other. So, in December, we had 22.7, and right now we're sitting at 27.6. So price drops are happening, and right, almost a third of all homes have price drops. But this here, if you're a seller, you really want to look at, and if you're a buyer, you want to look at this too, because what this means, the sale to list price, this is a ratio. So if you are listing a home for $100,000, which obviously we don't have any of those, but if you're listing a home for $100,000, you can expect it to sell at $97,400. But what I don't like about this metric is that it doesn't show us what exactly is happening on the back end with seller credits, because that right there is the key differentiating factor. There's a lot of seller credits right now. So the seller will pay, like for example, all the new construction, all those homes are paying down your interest rate. If you're going to go to a cookie cutter neighborhood and buy a new construction home, they're going to pay down your interest rate, or they're going to do a 2-1 buy down, which basically buys down your interest rate for 2 years. So for 2 years, you're going to have a lower interest rate. And, this sales to list price doesn't take into account that stuff. All it does is says, hey, you listed at this much and it's sold for that much. And then it calculates it. But all those credits are not public information. So they don't know, But when it comes to the demand, here's what we want to go. We want to go into the 5-year chart, and we want to see what happened before COVID. December 2019, this is right before COVID, right? Let's scroll down so we can see this stuff. And it looks like 14% of homes had price drops. January, 20.9, but COVID really hit in March and April. April obviously didn't have many, because those are all the closings that went under contract in March happened in April. So 13.4 of them only. And that's when a lot of people took advantage of the market. Let's keep going down, because there's lots of stuff here. And then this is the 10 most competitive cities. And when they mean competitive, what they're talking about is how many things sold over list price and how many had price drops. I'm not really sure all these metrics with this part of it. So let's go into the migration. This is really, really interesting because people are saying, oh, I'm leaving Florida, I'm leaving Florida. Well, that's not what everyone else is doing. As it gets closer to red, people are moving to. And as it gets closer to blue, people are moving from. What do you know? Florida is the only one on the map with this color right here. This is where people are moving, guys. Why are they moving here? Well, because we have amazing beaches, we have amazing weather, and a lot of people do like our politics. A lot of people don't also, so some people are leaving. But, we keep talking about it, right? California, people are leaving. New York, people are leaving. The surrounding area around New York, people are leaving. Not everywhere. Some places are pretty neutral, or people are moving to, Vermont or something, right? But overall, people are leaving Oregon, people are leaving California, and well, if we don't get many visitors from these areas here, but we do from this area right here. And where are they moving to? 10 areas where people are moving to: Sacramento, Las Vegas, Orlando, here's a Florida. Sarasota, that's where I live. This is a Florida. Cape Coral, this is just an hour south of me. That's where I live, an hour north of me. So really, where people are moving to is this area right here. This area right here is like Tampa, Sarasota, Cape Coral, and Naples right down here. And then people are moving from, and look, there is not a single place that's Florida here, because people are not leaving Florida. People are leaving San Francisco. Now, look at these numbers too. The highest migration in is 5,000, and migration out is 25,000. I'll tell you one thing though. If I was sitting on a lot of cash, I would be looking at investing into San Francisco. Now, this would be a long-term plan because government would need to change. This is a little different conversation, but I would get into that California market right here by buying some amazing piece of land or some commercial or something like that, just waiting for the turnaround. Because it's going to turn around, and it might be a decade or two. But, New York had a problem, right? In the 80s, they had major problems with crime and so on. So, look at this, 25/7, New York not far behind, LA not far behind. I hope that this has been helpful. And if you're thinking about moving to Florida, come visit us. I'll show you around. I'll show you why. This is a great place to live. All right, what do you think? Do you think you want to sell? Do you think you might want to buy in Florida? The metrics are showing that we're probably leading into a market that is going to be better for buyers, worse for sellers. So if you're thinking about selling, please reach out to me. No matter where you are in Florida, if I don't list it, then I know people who can list it for you. I only hook you up with professionals that are really, really good and have a proven track record. Anyway, this is not a sales pitch. This is an information pitch. So if you have any questions, please feel free to write a comment or just reach out to me. Thanks.